Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to go over how to add our new support and resistance indicator to your chart and how it works. So it's really simple, guys. If you have access to our premium indicators, which are available at our website at bullishboblive.com, then you have access to these indicators and our custom library here. So what we're looking for is going to be the confirmation strategy support and resistance. That's going to be right here, confirmation support and resistance. Add this to your chart just by clicking on that. That's in our invite only tab. You can see that it automatically plots the lines and key values and of course the percentage as well. So this is really helpful because what this is doing now is giving us predetermined resistance lines and support lines as well. And so these values I will hold as really important levels and values, because what I'm looking for in confirmation, of course, is going to be a close over each level for it to then hold and give us continuation, right? So we're looking at these levels above. So if we close over, say this this line here at 347, then what I'm looking for is it to hit this line here at $4, right? We've got a clear indication of where our resistance levels will be coming in. And so I like to take profit just below our resistance levels, and then I like to hold a lotto. If you've been trading with me for years, then you know that I like to trade into our resistance levels, predetermined levels, and then hold a lotto in case I feel there's continuation. So CGTX, this is one that was moving last week in last week's session. So if you're watching this week on Monday or so, then this will make sense. If you're watching this in the future, then of course maybe it won't make so much sense. But this one was gapping up on Friday. We can see that it made this really strong move on Friday's session, especially in the aftermarket following, I believe it did have some news, but we'll have to double check. So this one, you can see, is plotting the lines and levels. Very simple, right? We're looking for confirmation. So every line that we close over. So if I pulled this up when we first started getting volume here, right? The close over these levels is going to be key for me because, of course, this is has not happened yet before. This is resistance, acting as resistance. So once we close over a resistance level, we then look at that same level to hold as support. And now we have this predetermined. So it's really easy. So if I switch from ticker to ticker, we'll be able to have this automatically plot for us. Now we also have this confirmation key level zone. So this is going to be very important. So if we're trading below the confirmation key level zone, then it's considered a bounce watch and we expect choppy price action, right? So we can still trade it. It just means that there is a red flag there. And so maybe we want to make adjustments to the size or maybe even our stop level based on the conditions that we see. So if I'm trading below this green zone here, it is going to be considered a bounce watch and just higher risk. So it doesn't mean it's not tradable, right? It just means that if I'm trading that setup, I will be reducing my size. So yes, this close over is confirmation, nice move there, but this is not the true confirmation key level. This is going to be that key level zone here. And we added that into this indicator as well. If you double click on anywhere on this indicator, you can double click on one of the lines, you can double click on the zone itself, you can double click on the values even if you'd prefer, or you can double click over here on the indicator itself just to open up the settings. You'll have a number of settings here that are available to you, and go through these and really get a good understanding of how this works and how you can manipulate this to look the way you want. You can change the colors of the lines, you can change the style of the lines, you can change a number of different options in here for our traders to make it more customizable for you. Now, one thing that I do want to change, I like to have the chart in black. Some traders will have theirs in white. Oftentimes, I think it comes loaded up as a white chart. So, but you can change the background of the chart to any color that you prefer. But mine is black. So this confirmation key level zone is a little harder to see in black. So I'm going to change the text color. Go down to the bottom here, and you can see the key level zone options. So all of these options are going to have to do with that zone there. One of the options is the key level zone text color. So I'm going to change this to white. You can see that changed there. So see that there, guys. If I click on this again, there's the black. And now I'm going to change it to white. You can have this as yellow. You can have it as any color that you prefer. I'm going to have it as white just to keep it clean. You can change the color of the zone itself as well. So go back down to the key level zone options, and you can change the color. You can make it the opacity a little bit stronger if you prefer, or you can have it dimmed down a little bit, or you can just have it off if you prefer to have it like that as well. I'm going to cancel here, just keep it the way it was. So now this confirmation key level zone, it's very important. So if I'm trading above this, what that means is we're looking for possible continuation. So if I go ahead and hit a replay here, you'll see how this worked out. So if I hit the replay, we'll go all the way back to, we'll start here. We'll zoom over here, and we'll look at this live. Now, during this time, if I had the chart up, right, we just pulled it up, we know that this is our key level zone. It's going to be around 298. We've got the whole dollar test at 3 above that. So maybe a close over $3 is what I'm looking for continuation, right, and that bullish momentum. So whenever you see a stock start to squeeze into new highs, typically it's because it's giving us continuation. So if we close over that level, then that's going to be something that is a bullish signal. So let's see what happens there. So I'll hit play. You can see we're watching this just like we're watching live real time. But, of course, I do have this sped up a little bit to make it a little bit faster. Now, let's pause it there. So what you can see here, guys, is that it closed over that key level zone, that green zone there, right? And as it did, it gave us a little signal here, letting us know, hey, that's a bullish signal. It just closed over that zone. It needs to now hold this zone. And every level that we close above, again, same idea, every resistance we close over then needs to hold as support. Well, we reached up and gapped up to this level here, closed over this line. We filled this gap, closed over this line here, and then all of a sudden we're hitting targets here. So you can see clear indication of where to get in, where to get out. So if I got in on this candle, typically my resistance and targets would be these lines above. So if I was getting on this candle close, which would be up here, then maybe my resistance and target would be around 350. Well, this 2 minutes later, it hit that 350. Now, closed over the 350, I can either decide to add here or just hold my lotto from my previous trade. If I added here or I didn't take the trade and I started to take the trade here, same idea. Closed over 347, closed over our 350 $half test, which is right around there, and needs to hold. Well, it did hold, and the next target would be predetermined at $4. Okay, we hit $4. Now we're looking for a close over 4 before we deem this as bullish. Let's go ahead and hit play here. I'll pause it there. Closed over, almost filled the gap, but failed the level. Now, if I were to get in on this candle here, that close over, this does have a topping tail, but this is a bullish candle, closed over a $4 level. So it needs to hold $4. Well, it didn't hold $4. So if I was in this position, I would sell for a loss on this candle. So if I got in here, let's see, from here to here, is where I take the loss. I'd be down about 4%, almost 18 cents per share, which is, not something that you want to see, but there is going to be times where it fails the level, and I'd much rather get out of the way before holding this thing for becoming a bag holder, right? It just starts to drop like crazy. So let's see what it does here. And for me now, if I was out of the position full, and if I was in from over here holding a lotto, this is where I'd exit. Now, if it closes over $4, of course, I can always get back in. So let's hit play. And now we can see it's gapping back down. And right there for a second, we saw that it gave a red signal that it was starting to go under our zone. So if it closes back below that zone, that's bearish. That's where we draw the line and say, you know what, there's no point in holding this any longer unless it can stay above that level. And that's how confirmation works, right? So every gap that we filled gap, filled gap, filled gap, then we need to fill the next gap. We're looking for the next gap for possible trades, and that's going to be $4. So if you're watching CGTX on Monday morning, then look for CGTX to close over $4 and $4.44. And of course, we've got the mental half and whole at $4.50. Once we close over those levels, we're looking for it to hold. So if I get in at $4, well, it needs to hold $4. If it closes back below 4, I cut it for a loss. If it holds over $4, my target is $4.44. And if we hit it, well, I'm taking profit. And I like to sell it out 75% to 90% of my position, and then hold a lotto for continuation, right? And that continuation means that we're above this level, so it is worth watching for continuation. Now, if I was trading below that level, I may not consider it to be continuation. Maybe I just take the full scalp. But because it's above this level here, this key level zone, well, then we want to see it hold that key level zone, right? And it is holding it. It just tests it there. Let's see what happens. We'll hit play. And you guys can see that now it's just kind of going sideways and it's bouncing around in between these levels. And there's maybe some trades to be had there. But when I'm trading the confirmation strategy, what I'm looking for now, again, because we've already filled these gaps, I'm looking for a close now over this level. So if I'm looking for a key level, it's going to be, let's see, right here. Price label is going to be $4. Put this to 4. There we go. And you could very well put a price note here. Excuse me, a call out. So we could say, okay, this is going to be our key level, right? So now our key level is going to be $4. So we want to see it close over $4. And why is that? That's because we've already filled these gaps. So when we fill the gaps, it creates this buy pressure and sell pressure, and it's going to create this choppy price action in the gap if we get in here again. So higher probability type of trades is going to be if we close over 4. Now, I'm looking for that squeeze. I'm looking for that bullish momentum, that squeeze up. And we can see that there's no levels from 444 all the way to 647. So I would look at half and whole dollar on the way up. So that means 450. $5, $5.50, right? $6, half and whole, half and whole. So if I'm getting in at, say, $5, I'm looking at $5.50 as a target, and I'm taking profit on the way up. Now, I like to secure profit. That way I don't get in trouble unless if it starts to pull back on me. But that being said, guys, this is the confirmation strategy. We're looking for it to close over our key levels and continue. And we can see that it did so over here. So let's hit play and see how this pans out. So CGTX, guys, Monday morning, $4 and $4.44, and of course, mental $4.50. Don't forget it is going to be the key levels for CGTX. Now, watching this one here, we can see that it's, again, going sideways. It has lack of volume, right? We want to see clean volume close over our key levels before getting in. Now, I could trade at these lines and levels, of course, but these lines and levels have already been tested. These gaps have already been filled, right? So the probability of us continuing from here is less likely. Doesn't mean it won't happen, but it means if I'm trading around here, I have to reduce my size, because the better setup, the setup I like to be a little bit more aggressive on, is going to be our confirmation. That's close over $4. And we have the close over here around, I believe, $2.63 and $3. So from $3 close over, we hit $4.35. There we go. It's all done. And you guys can see very simple how this one retraced back down to this key level zone and held, right? And that's not always going to be the case, guys. I don't typically wait for this to gap up and then retest that level. That's not how I trade. I look for the close over our key levels to then hold. If I got in the close over this level thinking that this level needs to hold, well, that would be a loss for me. Then I get back in. Okay, I can get in this trade. I'm in the position looking for this as a target. Okay, hit target, hold a lotto. Okay, we failed, get rid of the lotto, right? And if I hadn't traded yet, if I haven't made a trade on this this bullish move here, then maybe I'm looking for this close over $4. Yes, this would be a loss, but there is no strategy that works 100% of the time. But this strategy is what keeps me consistently profitable, and definitely the strategy that I teach to our team at all times, because you're never going to get caught in an offering trading this type of move. Yes, this was a 4% pullback over here, right? This was a 4% pullback in a loss, but I'd much rather be out for a loss here than hold on to a bag. If this thing just continued to fall down here, which we see quite often with our low float stocks, then I don't want to be a part of that, right? So get in, get green, get out, or get out of the way. And I always have my stops in place, guys. So this would be in the aftermarket session, so I wouldn't be able to have a hard stop set to the order. I'd have to have a mental stop, but that would be my mental stop. Once I see this candle starting to close below my level, that's it. I'm out. And I could always sell before it closes below, but I use the candle close to really determine the strength of the move. So this one closed above. Okay, there's strength there for a possible continuation move. And sure, if you got in on this candle, it did move up, let's see, almost 3%, almost 10 cents per share. It's not huge for a lot of traders, but 10 cents per share, 12 cents per share like that, for some traders, that's all they need, right? That's a quick scalp right there. But it did not hold the levels. So maybe you sold some profit and maybe it pulled back and you took a loss on the remaining shares, and maybe you're just even on that trade. That's okay, because as it gapped back down, we're out of the way. Now, again, we're looking for that close over $4 on Monday, $4.44, $4.50, $5. We're looking at half and whole, and we do have predetermined levels all the way up. You guys can see this all the way up through this this chart. So we don't have to do that. So if something else hits the scanners here, so MNDR I think hit the scanners as well, pull it up, and we automatically have the levels, lines and levels. So if I'm getting in here, we just had this initial pop, right? I'm not sure what I just did there. There we go. If you have this initial pop here, and we see that these lines and levels are already plotted out for us, well, close above each line and level needs to hold. So if I'm getting on this candle, yes, it's high risk. Yes, there's low volume. Yes, there's a cluster of resistance. There's a lot of red flags there saying, hey, if you're taking this trade, just be careful. Maybe you want to make adjustments, right? And that's what we're doing. So I make an adjustment, maybe take just a lotto size or something small, and then all of a sudden I say, you know what, my game plan is it needs to hold this level here. Well, it did hold. It continued. Okay, taking profit, holding a lotto. Whoa, it started to stretch on me. And then before you know it, you've got yourself a really nice trade. Now, this one, of course, is not going to be confirmation. If I zoom out here a little bit, you'll see that we have all of these levels. So let's look for the confirmation level. Oh, it's all the way up here, guys. So this one, again, trading below that level, you can see that it is now red, that zone. This means this is a bounce watch. This is not confirmation. This is going to be outside of confirmation and trading very high risk. So that means for me, quick scalps or lotto trades at best, unless it gets above this level in this zone. If it gets above this zone, then that's what we're looking for confirmation, continuation, and we're looking at the levels above for predetermined resistance levels. So CGTX, I think, is going to be the one that most traders are looking at. And again, simple, guys, really simple. It plots the lines and levels, right? So if I take this off of the chart here, remove this, you can see that just go into the indicators tab, and we're still in the thing there. So go to the indicators tab, go to invite only, scroll on down to confirmation, support, and resistance. That's this right here, confirmation, support, and resistance. Just released this weekend, guys. We did have the support and resistance here, 1, 2, 3. We had it in 3 indicators. We've now combined it into 1, and we've added the key level zone, which is really important for me and I think a lot of our traders. But not only that, but we did add an alert function here, guys. So if you go to the indicator up top, hit the 3 dots, you'll see that we have an alert now. So you can add alert, and you can say, okay, I want to see this every time we hit that zone or close above that zone or start to enter. As you can see, price enters key zone alert. That's what the alert will be. And we can do it once per bar, once per close, once per minute. So I can say once per bar maybe, and just hit it like that, hit great, and there we go. Now I'm done. Now I have that alert. So now I don't have to be glued to this this chart and this screen. And this will adjust. This key level zone right now, this is what it was on Friday. This is no longer the key level zone. This you'll see on Monday will start to move up after Monday market open. You'll see that this will move up, and this new key level zone will be $4 and $4.44, as these are going to be the new levels that it needs to close over, because as it fills these gaps, we look at it as less probable to fill those gaps again. So guys, that's pretty much it on our confirmation, support, and resistance indicator. Auto plots these lines and levels for us. Auto plots the key level zone for us, and keeps just trading very, very simple, right? Close above, bullish, close below, bearish. It's very simple, a very simplistic strategy that has really aided in my consistency for years. And this is what we teach in our day trading community as well. So guys, if you found any value in this video, give it a thumbs up, and I appreciate your time, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys. Visit bullishboblive.com to get your indicators today and join our day trading community.